Well, it's my privilege to share God's word with you tonight. And I'm going to take you on a journey to the home where I grew up. 45 minutes outside of Manhattan, New York City, is a suburb called Mineola, Long Island, New York, where I grew up. My family and I lived in a neighborhood with neighbors that were more like family than neighbors. We lived in a 3-story house with a backyard that was big enough for an above ground pool. And that was in the summer, of course. And then it was big enough for a large homemade curved snow slide in the winter. The main floor had a kitchen, a dining room, a den, a bedroom, a porch that my dad built, and a master bedroom. The middle floor housed the kids. The boys, when you go up the steps, they would be to the left, the girls up the steps to the right. The girls meaning my sister and myself. And we also had these squeaky stairs are going to play into the end of the story later on, but we had some squeaky steps. Deborah, you're laughing already. We had some squeaky steps that would go up. When you go upstairs, you had to be careful going up those stairs, especially when you got older. And if you stayed out too late, my mom had hearing that was so good that if you went up those steps, you avoided those squeaky steps. Now, we also had a basement. And in the basement was what we called or termed our fun place. We had dances, holiday parties, get-togethers, friends over, and just had a good time. My father, he finished the basement with knotty pine siding. He built a pool table. There was a sound system that he built into the knotty pine wall, which had the old black and white picture tubes. And they also had the stereo, the record player that you would pull out and turn the vinyl. And then you had the radio and the speakers. He was amazing what he did and what he made. He also built a wet bar and a full kitchen down in the basement. It was really, really lovely. Now, off the basement was my dad's workshop where all his building took place. He had a table saw and many other tools where he started and finished projects around the house. I would love the sound of the saw when my father was making something and I knew, oh, what's he making now? And I loved the sound of the saw with its distinct high-pitched whirring cutting through the wood. And sometimes before the wood hit the floor, the blade would ring loud. I also like the smell of fresh cut wood. And to this day, when I smell that, it catapults me back to the home on Andrews Road and the house that my father built. Now, off my father's workroom was the only unfinished room in the house. It was like a cave-like structure, odd but true. It had an archway, or what I saw as a kid as a big gaping mouth. Now keep in mind, I'm a young kid. I'm very impressionable, okay? That led into this cave. It was dark, dank, and it smelled of oil. It was so unlike anything else in the rest of the house that I had just described. The cave was the home of the big, bad oil burner, okay, which I thought was a monster. Yes, it clicked and it whirred into life and it heated the entire house except for the porch. Remember when I told you I had 3 brothers and 1 sister? Well, they would tell me scary stories of the room behind my dad's workroom. Or one of my brothers would get to my sister and say, make sure you tell Eileen that there's a monster down there. You know, it's like, ooh, all that stuff. So my being young and impressionable would somewhat believe a little of their story. Nah, I believed it all. I always wondered why my mom and dad never got someone in to get rid of that oily, stinky monster down in the cave. It seemed like a long time that we lived with that thing down there, but nobody ever got hurt. So when I asked about it, my mother looked at me and she's like, "What are you talking about?" So I told her, who was telling me these things, that was a big mistake because it just got worse for me. Now, if you remember the scene, and now we're going to go to a movie. If you remember the scene in the Christmas movie, Home Alone, when Kevin encountered the furnace downstairs with its big gaping mouth and its grill that moved up and down like a mouth, as if to devour him, as if to bite him. Well, that was what I experienced with that cave that we had down in there. The furnace that he saw with the fiery, blazing eyes, I was terrified of the thing that I knew nothing about. One particular night, I found myself home alone. And soon after that, everyone left for the evening. And there was soon after they left, there was a raging storm with loud thunder and massive lightning. Home alone, raging storm, and no one around, and the monster in the oil burner room. Could this night get any worse? I honestly thought my siblings did something to scare me and that they had recordings and lights to emulate this storm. But no, they didn't. It was real, and so was my fear. I stayed up as long as I could, waiting for someone to come home. I was TV'd out, but I was getting tired and it was time for bed. So I double checked the locks, made sure all was buttoned up, and I checked the basement. I actually just opened up the door to make sure the lights were out and the furnace was silent. Phew. I went upstairs to bed and I purposely stepped on the squeaky steps to make sure that they still worked or they still squeaked. The storm is getting worse. The lightning was lighting up my whole room. The thunder was shaking the windows in the house. It was so loud. The rain was pounding, and so was my heart. I was terrified. So I went to bed and I brought to mind my great escape plan. But there was one itty bitty problem. I didn't plan for rain, thunder, or lightning. My escape plan was not going to work. The plan was no good. So off to bed I went. I covered my head with my sheet and blankets and did one thing that I knew to do, and that was to pray. That's all I knew to do underneath the sheet and the blanket. I was raised a Roman Catholic, and I had three prayers committed to my mind: the Our Father, the act of contrition, which I said a lot because I said, okay, if it's my time to go, I want to make sure I'm good and I'm going to heaven. So the act of contrition and the Hail Mary, I said over and over and over again. Vain repetition, yes, but that's all I knew to do. What a night. When I was a kid, I did not know now what I know about God's word and his hedge of protection. So tonight I would like to share on God with you on God, our protector. Tonight I'll be using the Message Bible along with the Revised or the REV Bible. You can just listen or you can go to whatever you choose to do. It's up to you. But in the Message Bible, Psalm 91, and it says, "You who sit down in the high God's presence, spend the night in Shaddai's shadow. Say this, God, you're my refuge. I trust in you and I'm safe." That's right. He rescues you from hidden traps, shields you from deadly hazards. His huge outstretched arms protect you. Under them, you're perfectly safe. His arms fend off all harm. I was thinking about that verse of scripture, arms or pinions. That might be spoken about in God's word. His arms are about you, and he protects us with those arms. And I think I thought of you, Wendy, with your baby chicks. And I thought how the mama hen protects her chicks underneath her wings. And the eagle, when the eagle carries its young on its strong wings, it protects those chicks, those baby eaglets, and God, with his outstretched arms, protect us. We find refuge under his wings, his arms, his pinions. Psalm 18. This is a song that David sang after being saved by God from all his enemies and Saul, God's anointed one. Yahweh is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God, my rock, I will take refuge in him. My shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower. The metaphor of the horn is taken from the animal, the bull. It's a symbol of strength used in defense, but also used to attack in saving us from evil situations. God is both our best defense and our best offense in times of trouble. We don't need to go to anything else. We just need to go to God for our best, because he's got it all. He's got us covered and under his pinions. That high tower is a literal defensive structure, and it's a symbol of God's protection and refuge. I noticed that there was one common thread emphasized, that protection and refuge throughout those verses, and that's our God, protection and refuge. Psalm 27:1, this was another psalm from David. Light, spaced, zest, that's God. With God on my side, I'm fearless, afraid of no one thing and nothing. Could have used that when I was afraid of the oil burner monster. The REV says, Yahweh is my light and my salvation. Whom should I fear? Yahweh is the stronghold of my life. Whom should I dread? Great words to live by. In Deuteronomy 20, verse 4, it says, for Yahweh, your God, is he who goes with you. We're never alone. We're never alone. I didn't know that as a kid. All I knew to do was to pray. God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. In the Message Bible, it says, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't panic. God, your God, is right there with you, fighting with you against your enemies, fighting to win. I panicked, but I also prayed, I'm being honest. I recently heard a woman say that her enemies were her fear, her anxiety, her stress, just to name a few. In Joshua 1:9, I know we've heard this, and in the Message Bible it says, haven't I commanded you? Strength, courage. Don't be timid. Don't get discouraged. Very easy to do. God is your God, and he is with you in every step you take. He, God, would not be physically with Joshua, but God's Spirit was upon Joshua, and God supported Joshua, and God was working in and through him. God was also with Jesus Christ in Acts 10:38. God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with Holy Spirit and with power, and he, Jesus Christ, went around doing good and healing all those oppressed of the devil because God was with him. And God was also with Moses. In Joshua 1:17, the children of Israel knew that God was with Moses, and they also knew that God would be with Joshua when Joshua took over as he was with Moses. When I remembered that, when I heard those words, I remembered that God is the same today, tomorrow, and yesterday. What he did then, he will do for us now. And I'm going to close in Isaiah 40:29 through 31. Let me see. Where am I at here? Okay, here we go. I put little tabs in my Bible so it would be easier for me. But those who wait upon God get fresh strength. They spread their wings and soar like eagles. They run and don't get tired. They walk and don't lag behind. In Isaiah 41:10 through 13, he gives us power. He gives power to the weak. He increases the strength of him who has no might. Even the youths faint, which I did that night, and get weary, and the young men stumble. Yeah, they stumble. But those who wait for Yahweh will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not be weary. They will walk and not faint. I have a visual aid for you just to give you an idea. This is one of my favorite pictures that I have. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's the eagle. I love it. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So it's the eagle. And I just love that picture because it reminds me of strength. This waiting in life is a confident expectation. God made promises, and those who trust in God and have confidence that God's promises will come to pass draw strength from their confidence and will run and not be weary. They go on and on day after day, knowing that God will fulfill his promises, and those who wait will be richly rewarded. So back to the house in Mineola. I braved the night, covered over with a sheet and blanket, and waited and prayed. And God protect me from my fears, and I didn't even know it. I was in God's arms, and his pinions were surrounding me, and I didn't even know it. I didn't sleep, and eventually I heard my parents come into the front door, and all was well. My brother Roy took me to the cave and showed me that there was nothing to be afraid of. No monster in there. So that's thank you for listening and being here. That's some things that I learned about God's protection.
Yay.
Neat.
Great job. Great job,
Thank
Eileen.
you.
Your
Thank you.
incident really made it live. Did you mention why you were left alone that night?
Well, my brothers were, no, I didn't, but I can tell you, my older brothers were on dates. My parents, they needed to go somewhere. I'm not sure where they went. And my sister, I think she was already married. So we had a lot of people older that were once young, were now a little older and out of the house. So I was about 10 years old and I was left alone. I had been left alone a lot, but I just knew to pray. And
Are you the youngest?
I am
Okay.
out of 5. Yes.
Wow.
Out of 5.
And you said your dad built that house?
Well, they had the foundation, but my dad finished everything in that house. He was an excellent carpenter. He had such a precision for detail. He not only sang, but he had an eye for detail like nobody else. And he built a pool table from pieces that there was where he used to work at a place named Belloc in Long Island. Next door was a pool table place, and they were throwing out stuff. So he went and he asked them, he said, "Are you throwing that out?" And they said, "Yeah." And he said, "Do you mind if I take it?" And they said, no. He got everything he needed except for the felt to build the pool table.
Wow.
And he
Poor dad.
did, yeah. He was amazing to me. He really, really was.
Hmm. Wow.
Great eye for detail. And I think, truthfully, I think that has been passed down in our family to a certain degree. Myself, my brother Roy had great eye for detail, extremely bright. My brother Ed, everybody had a little piece of my dad
Mm.
in them. Yeah.
We had a pool table in our basement too.
Did you?
Yes. And it was right next to our furnace, which they called the incinerator.
Oh,
I am the youngest, and
Oh,
I have a brother 10 years older than me and 8 years older than me. And so
oh,
you can imagine, the baby of the family bothering the brothers while they're playing pool. They picked me up one time and they had my head this far away from putting me in the incinerator.
oh
oh,
my.
oh my gosh.
They weren't going to do it, but
Right,
I was so young, I didn't know they weren't going to do it.
right,
And,
right.
and so of course I ran upstairs and told mom, and that made it worse for me. But boy, a lot of things that are the same between you and me, Eileen.
Yeah.
I also spent time living in Elmont and Rosedale first, and then Elmont on Long Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In my 20s and
Elmont,
30s.
Elmont or Belmont?
Elmont.
Elmont.
El- Elmont. Belmont Racetrack is in Elmont.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah. Right over the border in Nassau County.
How
Yeah.
about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I wasn't raised Catholic, and so but I talked to God all the time when I was little. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was my
Mm-hmm.
best friend, still is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, my plan to get out of the house, okay, was I had a window in my bedroom, and then there was the roof right there. And I was thinking, if I ever ran into trouble, up went that window, and I'd go out on the roof. And I would get one of those rope ladders. Well, the problem was I never got one of those rope ladders. And so I figured, well, I could jump and young and stupid, yeah. So I could jump, and then I thought, Eileen, are you crazy? You can't jump down there. Yes, I'd land on the soft grass, but what if I missed the grass? I'd hit the railing. Forget about it. Some things that you do. Poor thing.
Also,
So,
you
yeah.
mentioned the stairs to the third floor, but you didn't tell us what was
This-
on the third floor.
No, it wasn't the third floor. It was the second floor. It was the middle floor. We only had the middle floor. So it was our main floor, the basement, the main floor, and then the second floor.
Oh,
the third
okay.
floor. And the third floor had the bedrooms, which my father finished also, a bathroom and my room. And it's the steps that, I learned from my brothers. Eileen, if you're going to go out, this is how you go up the steps. If you come in late, this is how you go up the steps. It was taking them 3 at a time.
So you count the basement as the first floor.
I could, yeah, you could, yeah. 3
Okay.
floors, middle floor, and then our floor, yeah.
I
you
gotcha.
could. Okay. Yeah.
Could you tell everybody what your father would yell up and say, "Hey, are you kids asleep?" And what would you kids say?
We'd say, yeah. We're not, obviously, because we were laughing, we were running. We were running back and forth. We were laughing and talking. Are you asleep up there? Yeah. And I can imagine they probably walked away saying, oh.
Knowing your parents, they were laughing.
Yeah.
What was the span of years from the oldest to the youngest in your family?
Well, the youngest is 69. That's me. The oldest is going to be 82. So that's my brother Gary, who lives up in
13
Virginia.
years.
Yeah.
That's-
Thank you.
That's not a far gap for 5.
No?
There's 13 years between me and my next sister.
Okay, okay. Wow. You have a large family, Deborah?
No, I have 2 sisters. One is 13 years older and the other is 16 years older. So
Okay.
I was 2 years old when my oldest sister got married.
Oh, wow.
I know I was at the wedding because I've seen pictures.
So,
That
well,
was a
thank
good
you,
telling.
everybody, for listening and listening to that teaching. And I really enjoyed learning about God's arms. I never thought about God's arms being around us, truthfully, and the different names that they called for God's arms, pinions, His arms. Yeah.
Well, I think you brought us all back to our childhood, and that is a lot of fun because there was, I bet you we all have aspects of what you were saying, how it fit in our thinking when we were younger too. It's so typical, but it was so perfect.
Not sure it was fun.
Well, yeah.
I can think of all the frightening things that happened to me when I was little.
Okay, yeah. I thought, boy, Eileen, this is probably going to be, nobody's afraid of the oil burner. It only happens in the movies,
No,
but
no.
No, it happened to me. It wasn't oil though, but it happened to me.
Yeah.
oh,
We had a
that's
cellar,
funny.
the downstairs, we called it the cellar where the laundry was and my dad's workshop was. The oil burner was there. I wasn't terrified of that, but to be in the middle of the cellar and somebody turn the lights off
Mm.
was terrifying. And that was a favorite trick of my younger brother. And I got him back. I got him back good. So
Oh,
that was always
goodness.
a good thing, get somebody down there and turn that light off.
We had a fireplace and they acted like it was so dangerous. We used it to heat. It was we lived in a summer cabin all year round because it was what my parents were given by friends to use. And mom would get up on the ice on the roof and chop the ice off when it would get really cold. It's crazy. But we were told that, don't even get close to the fireplace because it's almost always going. And so you just have these dreams and fears of that thing just coming alive, even though it's right there. It's like, you can't get past the thing.
Where was the cabin?
It was Lake Lackawanna in the northwestern Jersey that
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
On Saturdays, they used to do at 2:00, they played a scary movie Saturday afternoon. So my sister, who was 2 years older, and I would go downstairs in the basement and we would watch the movie. Well, at some scary point during the movie, she'd just jump up and run up the steps and go outside and play. And she'd leave me in the basement, and I was so afraid to get up and to go upstairs. And she used to pull that on me all the time, and I'd fall for it every week.
Oh, gosh.
Was she
Fine.
older or younger than you,
10 years
Cher?
older.
You should have
Wow.
called the chicken.
Eileen, you started off with Psalm 91, and that particular psalm was quoted often during COVID.
Mm.
I recently was listening to someone who said, that is a great psalm to commit to memory. I mean, if Psalm 23 and Psalm 91 will get you through any crisis. So
Yeah.
I'm taking heed to that. That's
How about that?
I'm going to start working on committing that to memory.
Ah,
And you pointed out that God has it all. He's our defense and offense.
yeah. He's
That's
got
so
it
true.
covered. He's
Yeah.
got you covered completely.
Yeah.
Because I thought of football. I like sports, and I thought of football, and I said, okay, you got a defense on your football team, and you got an offense on your football team, but they're not together. Opposing teams, yes, but
Right.
that same team, yeah. But I thought about that, and I was like, wow, God has it all together. for you.
Yeah, he's got them playing at the same time,
Yeah,
right? Offense and defense.
yeah, exactly. And you said Psalm 23? Ah, yes.
The Lord is my shepherd.
Shepherd.
I have
Yes.
no wants.
I don't
Yeah.
need a thing. I have bedded me down in lush meadows. Yeah. Find me quite
And
good.
Isaiah 41:10 is a song. I mean, I know it from, singing it. That's a good way to memorize
Yes,
the word.
absolutely.
Will you demonstrate? What is it? What?
You went to Isaiah 41:10, right?
Yes, I
Yes.
did.
Yeah. That's a song.
Sing
It
it.
is. Sing it.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't want me to sing it.
Second.
If Kevin wants to sing it with me, I'll do it.
Okay.
Be able
Okay,
to-
go for it.
I don't know if I can sing because my voice will, they start really low. Let's see.
Fear thou
That start real low. Fear thou not, for I am with thee.
Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. Yea, I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness.
Yes. Okay. Very nice. Thank you. Did a good job. Nice.
And it came across very good over the internet.
It
Yeah.
did. Very well. Wow. Yep,
Well,
yep,
good job,
yep.
Eileen. That was kind of a fun walkthrough of your,
Yeah.
history and past and bringing up and where you were. You definitely painted a very vivid picture. And I love the sound of the creaky steps. That kind of gave me little reminiscent things of my own, I'm sure for everybody else too.
Yep.
Stepping on the wrong step. Actually, a favorite comedian of ours, Michael McIntyre, does a whole routine of trying to get out of bed and not waking his wife up and trying to find out where the non-creaky boards are in the house so you can get to the restroom type of thing. It's kind of funny, so that was quite amusing, and knowing your family, I can appreciate that story vividly.
Not so much problem here in South Florida with all the tile floors, but those northeastern wooden homes for sure.
Wooden steps, yeah.
Absolutely.
I just recently, within a couple of years before my mom and dad passed, found out that I think it was my mom lived in Long Island when my dad started dating her.
Oh,
Right near Rye, New York. When he came up, he said, your mom lived right across the town, basically, a town near there.
Hmm.
Wow.
Have some roots up there too. How about that?
How about that? I recently, a couple of months back, I recently received a picture of my childhood home that somebody sent, and it was very different from the way I knew it. It was very different, but very lovely. Whoever moved into the house did a very, very nice job of maintaining and making just beautiful landscape and architecture. And it was just beautiful.
Hmm.
Very, very nice. And it brought back a lot of memories, but it changed the face of the outside, but the inside I remembered so well. And going through my brother Roy's pictures, there's pictures of different holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving, and just plain old parties that we had. It's a lot of fun. It was a good.
Hey, everybody can do that by looking at Google Maps and the street view. And you can see when my parents were getting older, I would get it on the computer and show, we go to all the different places we lived, and they had never seen them again over the years. So it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
They're not gonna have camp.
Camp, no, where you are.
My father lived in a cabin in the woods, which was 3 miles down a dirt road, and the dirt road was 15 miles from the nearest town.
Oh, wow.
And I'm pretty sure that's not going to be on Google Maps.
Probably not even
Well-
part of America anymore.
Yeah, it's in the Adirondacks. And so when you're talking about creaky stairs and different things, it didn't have electricity. It had propane. It had propane lights. It had
Yes.
a propane refrigerator, and it had a propane oven, stove, but the oven was what heated it. There wasn't any other heat in the house or the cabin. It was 2 stories. There were 2 bedrooms downstairs, and upstairs was just one big loft. And I was the youngest of my sister and my brother wasn't allowed to come yet because he was still quite young. And we'd go there in the summer and the winter, and in the summertime, the bats would live in the attic upstairs. But because my sister was the oldest, she got to sleep downstairs in the semi-finished bedroom. I had to sleep upstairs where it was just plain rafters and beds that were all musty and the bats, and I'd sleep with my head under the covers because there was rats and there was bats and there was mice and there was flies and there was all kinds of crap.
Oh,
So I can relate to going under the covers and
covers.
kind of crying yourself to sleep.
Oh,
I think it's fine.
absolutely.
Did you try to rebel and say, no, I'm not sleeping up here?
No, 5 something.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Only except for when it was extremely cold and I was freezing up there, and I said, Dad, I can't sleep up there. It's too cold. And he put a cot out in front of the stove where that was the only heat in the place. But he ripped his trousers putting this cot out, and he swore. And now I'm feeling bad because I made my dad rip his pants and yeah. So anyway, not great memories for things, but I can relate to some of those fears.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But, well, that's all I've got.
All right.
Hey, I got something I should tell you guys. We probably prayed for a guy named Jacob. Do you remember Jacob? Me praying for him?
Yeah.
I lost track of him. I took him to the hospital and he relapsed, and then he didn't even finish up the hospital stuff, and I never talked to him again. I tried, but he didn't communicate anymore. Probably too embarrassed. I don't know. Just pulled into a place yesterday, and I think it was yesterday, and there he was sitting there. And I said hi and walked right by him. Didn't even recognize him. He gained some weight. He went to prison, got out sober, been sober, got a job. First thing I said to him, he said, I'm clean. I've been clean a long time. He said, I got a job. I'm doing great. I said, how did you ever do that? He goes, God. It was God. So like, how cool is that? It was just a lot of tears over that one. I was extremely blessed.
Wow.
Oh, neat.
So
He's
cool.
been doing some praying, you know that.
Yeah.
What's that?
He's been
What'd
doing
you say,
some
Dan?
praying, you know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for him.
Wow. But,
I'm sure when Christ comes back, there'll be plenty of people that we spoke to and we'll see again, but we don't even know whatever happened to them.
Yeah,
And
right.
I am so looking forward to it because I am done with daylight savings time. I do not like it. Beasley does not like it.
Yeah.
Just it was a bad idea. Daylight savings time was just a bad idea. I'll be
We don't like it
thankful when
either.
it's all over.
yes. Very much. Very much so.
I dread
Well,
the
actually, it
Saturday.
is over. It starts in the spring. So back to
yes.
work.
Yes, Deborah, of course you would point that out.
So, standard
We're in
time.
standard time.
But we don't
Yeah.
like that. We like the other one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We like, we have long days.
Not every state has daylight savings time. Arizona doesn't.
No,
Right,
and
yeah,
parts
they
of
don't.
Indiana.
Yeah.
I think Hawaii doesn't and parts of Indiana don't. In
What about
Arizona.
Alaska?
Our daughter lives in Arizona and calls me every Tuesday morning on her way to work. And so now I get up an hour earlier so that I'm all awake when she calls. Yeah, it's a
Aw.
blessing. It's a blessing though.
Yeah.